Pranam everyone, welcome back to the session. Hari Om. So sorry, 1 second. Looks like that. All right. Okay. Hari Om. Start. I have sent the invocations on the group. So one can follow it from there. The Atma Bodha group. Instead of sharing the screen only for the invocations, am I audible? Okay. Om सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयम् नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम् शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणम् सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः We'll chant the first few verses. तपोभिक्षीणपापानां शान्तानां वीतरागिणां मुमुक्षूणामपेक्षोऽयम् आत्मबोधो विधीयते बोधोऽन्यसाधनेभ्यो हि साक्षान्मोक्षैकसाधनम् पाकस्य वह्निवच्ज्ञानम् विना मोक्षो न सिद्ध्यति अविरोधितया कर्मा नाविद्यां विनिवर्तयेत् विद्या विद्यां निहन्त्येव तेजस्तिमिरसङ्घवत् परिच्छिन्न इव ज्ञानात् तन्नाशे सति केवलः स्वयं प्रकाशते ह्यात्मा मेघापायेंशुमानिव अज्ञानकलुषं जीवम् ज्ञानाभ्यासाद्विनिर्मलम् कृत्वा ज्ञानं स्वयं नश्येत् जलं कतकरेणुवत् संसारस्वप्नतुल्यो हि रागद्वेषादिसङ्कुलः स्वकाले सत्यवद् भाति प्रबोधे सत्यसद् भवेत्. Yes. So we are seeing the 6th verse, and it falls in the topic of nature of the world. When we say nature of the world, we mean nature of Jagat, creation. What is the swabhav of creation? In the 6th verse, it's made a very huge statement. And there was a question also that there is a likelihood that this could be misunderstood. So I'm repeating this. The verse says, what is the nature of the world? It is swapna vat. Jagat kaisa hai? Swapna vat. That vat, like a dream. The verse is not saying it is a dream. It is like a dream. Whenever there is an equivalent made, a comparison made, whenever there is a example shown, comparison made, the idea of comparison is that you will have some equivalence between the two. Swapna mein, Jagrat mein, there will be something which is alike, common. You will find a characteristic of the dream world. That characteristic will be common to the waking world. This is the purpose of the vat pratyaya. Pratyaya means it's a suffix added to say that the world is like a dream. Now, we need to reflect. What are the common characteristics that we have between the world and the Swapna Prapancha? I'll allow you to unmute yourself. What are the characteristics which are common between the dream world and the waking world? Anyone? Yes, Divya?
कुछ कांस्टेंट नहीं रहता है. It is very fleeting and temporary.
Excellent. So 1 point covered. It is fleeting and temporary. Can you explain this a little?
So whatever we are experiencing through the day, right, Deepti ji, when we sleep, the whole world comes to an end for us. And when we wake up, so during sleep, that world is real. And during when we are awake, that world is real. So we don't know which is the real among the two because both are temporary.
Right. Very good. Someone else wants to expand on that point or add on that point? What is it that is common between the dream world and the waking world? 1 point covered. It is fleeting. It is temporary. They both have the same characteristic. स्वप्न में कुछ भी steady नहीं रह सकता. It's like a frame changing in a movie. It's a constant change of a frame. You cannot have any frame constant for a period of time. There is no intermission. There is no hanging of the frame. You know, how our internets hang sometimes and you have one frame stuck. Nothing like this happens in the Swapna world. It's a fascination. If you examine the world, dream world, it's a fascination. Without my will, without my purusharth, I'm experiencing a world and it is ever changing, frame by frame. What happens in the waking world? Same. It is ever changing. Even if I want to put purusharth, I have the capacity of the purusharth. That is a dissimilarity between the waking and the dream. In the dream, I have no purusharth possible. But in the waking, there is a purusharth possible. Even with my purusharth, can I stop any particular frame in the waking state? Any experience, can I hold it? Good or bad? मुझे बहुत अच्छा कुछ लगा, so let me hold it. Can I do that?
Everything is beyond your control.
Everything is beyond your control. Not everything, but mostly. You cannot, when you say everything is beyond your control, it means what you really mean to say is you cannot hold on to anything. Holding on is beyond your control. That's what you mean. Correct. Absolutely right. You cannot hold on to anything. That is common between the dream and the waking.
Correct.
Anything else that is common between the two? What else is common?
May I, Deepti ji? Shalini.
Yes, please.
When you're in that state, it seems real.
Yes. So, when you're in the dream state, dream looks real. Is that absolutely clear to everybody? सपने में क्या आपको लगता है कि ये सपना अनरियल है? While you are seeing it, वो बहुत रियल लगता है. In fact, that's what the verse is saying. The similarity is waking is also looking real. That is the siddhant that we have come to. What else is common? The verse is also saying it.
All our insecurities.
Sorry?
Our fears.
Sorry?
Deepti
We
ji,
can't hear you.
Shalini.
I know, but what?
All the insecurities, all the
All
fears,
the
they are all
insecurities.
real.
Expand the insecurities.
Likes, dislikes, Deepti ji.
Borrow from the verse.
Ragadvesha.
Ragadvesha. Everything in the dream that you're experiencing is based on your own likes and dislikes. आपको पसंद है, नहीं पसंद है, आपके reactions, आपके response. This is all raga dvesha based. Means you are experiencing emotional world. Let's put it this way. You're experiencing an emotional world in the dream. What is happening in the waking? Same. You're experiencing an emotional world here also. So what is the first point? Start from Ragadvesh. The verse is saying that. What is common between the two? There is an emotional world experienced in the dream state. There is an emotional world experienced in the waking state. In the same way, there is an emotional world experienced in the waking state. There is fleetingness, temporariness. Sorry, excuse me. Of the dream state. There is fleetingness, temporariness of the waking state. No frame can you hold. That's what we mean by temporary. कोई पल ऐसा नहीं है जिसको आप पकड़ के बोलो अब बस यहां हम रुकेंगे. You can't do that. Both of them based on your ragadvesh. What else is there? Ragadvesh itself is what? Your dream world is entirely Indriya Anubhav. Indriya Anubhav means it's a sensory experience. You experience you see the mountains, you hear the birds, etc. You have senses activated in the dream world. What body is there is not what we are talking. But you have a sensory world experience in the dream world. That is why many of us, when we have a fearful dream, we wake up sweating. Because the world was real, dream was real, and it was a sensory experience, and it was an emotional experience, and an experience that I did not like. So it projects itself forward. In all of them, I have that experience. Most important, one of the essential features of the two states is that there is an experiencer of the dream world. वो जो स्वप्न का जगत है, उसको अनुभव करने वाला कोई है. There is an experiencer of the dream world. Dream world is not out of the experiencer's realm. The experiencer is important there. Who is the experiencer is the topic of Vedantic inquiry. But in the verse, there is an experiencer who is experiencing a dream world. What is the nature of the dream world? And what is the nature of the experiencer? These are topics of inquiry. And at the moment, we are on the topic of nature of the world inquiry. The same thing happens in the waking world. What is in the waking world? There is an experiencer of the waking world. These parallels that are drawn between the dream and the waking, tulyavat. If in anyone's mind there is a misunderstanding that Vedanta says waking world is a dream, that is wrong. That is incorrect. If by any chance it has got communicated in that manner or you've understood it in that manner, it needs correction. Vedanta doesn't say waking is a dream. When we have set the example that it is different in degrees, not in kind. I remember saying that in the last class. The waking and the dream worlds are different in degrees, not in kind. When we say they are different in degrees, it means that commonality is felt between the two. So, important to understand. If you say that waking is like a dream, it is different from saying waking is also a dream. Is that clear? To Vani, to Siddharth, to everybody else? Yeah. It is, if you say, let's put it the other way around. If you say that waking is a dream, क्या फ्लॉ आ जाएगा इसमें? What will be the error? Waking is a dream. So many places, sometimes it may be misunderstood as this, that Vedanta says, "Arey, all this is mithya, all this is false. यहाँ तो कुछ सत्य है ही नहीं, करने को क्या है? And everything is fallacious. There is nothing to seek here. There is, what point is there to do anything in the world? Why bother with anything at all? After all, it's all a dream."
So
It'll all
that means you don't bank upon your purusharth. You let the purusharth go in this
absolutely.
case.
So here, what is the difference between the dream and the waking? That in the waking,
Purusharth.
there is a purusharth. And that purusharth is not available to you in the dream. And that makes a world of a difference. Why Vedantic knowledge becomes useful to us is both are necessary to be understood. On one hand, on one hand, it is important to appreciate that the reality felt of the world is equivalent to that of a dream. The felt reality of the world is equivalent to a dream. That is the Siddhant. It is a question of reality. Which on inquiry is the world real? Vedanta falsifies it. It is looking like real. And इस बात को समझाने के लिए will be the next verse. It is not real. It is looking like real. So is it unreal? No, it is not even unreal. It is not like the horns on a man's head. Shashashingavat. Human beings, do we have horns? Like cows have, buffalo, who has? Like horns on a man. Sorry, my animal kingdom's gone. Like horns on a man. Do you have horns? If anybody says, I saw a man with horns, will you believe the person? हो ही नहीं सकता, वो जाति है ही नहीं. जाति ज्ञान जो है, जाति का ज्ञान, वो जाति ही नहीं है कि कोई पुरुष हो, ह्यूमन बीइंग हो और उसके सींग हो. You don't have to believe that knowledge at all. You can very safely conclude the one who's seen, वो सपना ले रहा था. उसने सपने में, हम मजाक भी करते हैं ना, अरे तुमने सपना देखा होगा. ऐसा तो हो ही नहीं सकता. It's a confirmed knowledge. You don't have to have a doubt there. It is not like castle in the sky. In the monsoons, you have all kinds of formation of clouds. So someone says, oh, see a castle there. And on the sky, it's like a castle in the sky. Is there a castle in the sky? Pratibhasik. It's only seen. It is not there. In the same way, Jagat is not like this. Jagat is not unreal. आप नहीं कह सकते कि ये जगत है ही नहीं. Because अगर आप कहो कि जगत है ही नहीं, then your problem will be, then I'm sorry, then the thing is that there is nothing to do here. Eat, live and be merry, चारवाका theory. कुछ भी करो, मारो, पीटो, काटो, जो करना है करो. There is no rights and wrongs in this world. There is no tomorrow to be. There is only this moment, and in this moment, all I need is happiness, and that is it at any cost, because there is no carry forward. There is no nothing. I will do meri marzi, whatever way I like to live. Isn't that true? So here, the point is very subtle and very essential. Only then will you be able to fix what is my role as a human being in the waking state. I cannot dismiss my realm of karma because Jagrat Avastha नियमित रूप से causation का experience कराती है, जो स्वप्न अवस्था में नहीं है. So what is the second difference? First difference is there is a Purusharth possible in the waking state. Based on that Purusharth, our karmas is what creates the realm of causation, and that causation is determined, is an experienced determined in the waking state. In the waking state, you don't have randomness like you have in the dream state. In my dream, I was actually enjoying on a cruise, Pacific Ocean. No, the other one. Atlantic, one of the oceans. Okay. I was on a cruise over there. And then suddenly there was a big wave. And the next moment I reached the mountain. And I was enjoying the snow in the mountains. That randomness you enjoy. It's okay. Dream mein ho sakta hai randomness. There's no causation necessary. But can that happen in the waking state? Here I am very nicely enjoying my glaciers in the cruise, and then suddenly a wave comes and I don't like it. I want to go to the mountain. So I've gone to the mountain. Next experience, I'm on the mountain. Impossible. Causation is a reality, relative reality of the Jagrat Avastha. You cannot break it. Time, space, and causation, all three determine your karma. कर्म का निर्धारण क्या करता है? What is the base of karma? कर्म फल किस निश्चय पे आता है? How does the phal mature itself of the karma? So it is based on time, space, and causation, which is an experience of the waking world. So the difference is clear now? Because there is the verse is only highlighting the part where we have to question this felt reality of the world. हमको जागृत पूरा ही real लगता है. None of us have a doubt that the waking is an unreal world. We don't need to be taught on that. It is an example to say that the waking truly is also in a similar way, with similar characteristics, which make it fall in the definition of a relative reality. You can't call it unreal. You cannot also call it as real as you experience it. When I experience time, space, and causation, I experience a realm of solidarity here. होता है ना? Ah. Ooh. What is this? It is an experience of reality. And someone gives me a nice flower or a bouquet of flowers and something pleasant. That solidarity felt is to be questioned, says Vedanta. And ये कोई और नहीं बता सकता हमको. This sense of reality, which is our cause of our raga dvesh based sukh and dukh. What are we all seeking? I'll come back to the first class because that's the base of all this. Why are we here in the class, or what are we seeking in the world? We want sukha prapti. We want dukha nivritti. And why are we wanting this? It is based on the assumption that this world is very real. ये दुख बहुत real है. ये सुख भी मुझे जो चाहिए वो really चाहिए. और जो है मेरे पास उसको मुझे रोकना है. I don't want this sukh to disappear. I don't want this sukh to have temporariness. I intellectually understand that the world is temporary. That the sukh and dukh is temporary. समझ में आ गया. Bye bye. But all my effort, purusharth, will be where? Centered on? Where am I centering my purusharth? Not on gaining freedom from affectation of the sukh and dukh, but I am centering my purusharth on holding the sukh and avoiding the dukh. मुझे पुरुषार्थ कहाँ लगाना है ये हमें शास्त्र सिखाता है. I made a cut short through the Gita teaching entirely. What is that cut short? That cut short is my purusharth should be sukh भी मुझे विचलित नहीं करता, दुख भी मुझे विचलित नहीं करता. Samatvam bhav is what I need to practice. That's the purpose of purusharth. Neither is sukh what I am seeking, nor is dukh what I am avoiding. By prarabdha, whatever has to come, let me have the strength to face it, and let me just keep putting the purusharth where it is necessary. So swapna tulya vat is important in this verse. And the same thing he's now furthering दृढ़ बनाने के लिए. क्या दृढ़ बनाना है? That this jagat that I'm feeling very real, I'm pausing it, repeating it. The thought flow is the reality felt of the world is what Vedanta, only one point it wants us to look at. It does not make everything equivalent. That one point, that this reality is actually swapnavat. It is not real. One day you will see it. Everybody sees it. When that Shravan has happened, someday that clicks like this in some experience. All along, thought process goes on. I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't understand. For months and years, it could go on. But then there'll be one experience where you suddenly realize, oh my God, so true. This is truly like a dream. You cannot have a sense of reality as firm. And the day this strikes, sukh and dukh अपने आप से इतना ज़्यादा affect नहीं करते. And that is what is my prayojan, means human beings prayojan. Ultimately, what do we want? Shanti. We want these waverings of the seekingness of the happiness and the dejections, the lows of the dejections and the depressions, and the highs of the excitements and the happiness to come to some sort of a stability. So to make that drid, he gives this example in the 7th verse. I'll repeat it twice each. Tavat satyam jagat bhati shuktikarajatam yatha yavanna jnayate brahma sarvadhishthanamadvayam tavat satyam jagat bhati shuktikarajatam yatha yavanna jnayate brahma sarvadhishthanamadvayam. What does it say? Let me. Yavat na jnayate. Okay, let me do it here only. Yavat na jnayate. Jnayate means janna. Yavat means jab tak. Na jnayate. Nahi jana. Till. It's a conditional clause. Yavat. Jab tak. Till it is not known. Nahi jana. Kya nahi jana? Brahma. This Brahma means Brahman. Brahma. Not Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwar ka Brahma. This Brahman, which is Nirgunam. Who is this Brahman? Sarva Adhishthanam. Sarva Adhishthanam is the first word. Sarva Adhishthan. Sabka Adhishthan. Adhishthan means, I think I said it before, where one abides. Supporter. In English, you would call it the supporter. Prithvi is the adhishthan for Prithvi is the adhishthan for Earth is the adhishthan for
All the pranis.
all the pranis. And specific, how are the pranis sustained?
The food cycle.
Food cycle. Yes. So the food cycle is sustained thanks to Prithvi, Maya. Food is grown, water is flowing. It's giving the Aadhar. It is the supporter, the nourisher. Prithvi, she is the supporter and the nourisher. सब प्राणियों का आधार है, सर्व अधिष्ठान. सबके लिए it is the supporter and the nourisher. Brahman is the supporter and the nourisher of all the pranis. And what is this Brahman? Advayam. It is one without a second. It alone is. Kevala. He said it in the previous verse. It is Kevalam. जब तक ये नहीं जानते ब्रह्मन सबका अधिष्ठान है, Brahman is the soul nourisher and the supporter. And that Brahman alone is. There is no other. तो हम सब क्या हैं? In one sentence we said he is the sole supporter and nourisher of all pranis. In the second sentence we are saying he alone is. Then who are we all? जब तक ये नहीं जानते कि ब्रह्मन इज द सर्व अधिष्ठान, मेरा भी अधिष्ठान ब्रह्मन है, हम सब क्या है फिर? हमारा अधिष्ठान ब्रह्मन है. And that alone is. What does that make us?
Brahman.
Brahman. In a simple way, what does it make us? Brahman. जब तक ये नहीं जानते कि ब्रह्मन is the अधिष्ठान and अद्वयम, तावत, तब तक, look at this, तब तक, what will be? Satyam Jagat Bhati. The world will continue to look real. जब तक हम ये नहीं जानते ब्रह्मन is the real, only, एकम, अद्वितीयम, सर्वाधिष्ठान, तब तक Jagat will look real. And when we say Jagat will look real, then what are we now implying again? That all this Sukha Dukha based yearning and seeking, that sense of reality that I'm questioning today through the text, that is asking me to question. मुझे मेरा जन्म भी रियल लगता है, मृत्यु भी रियल लगती है, मेरे षड्विकार भी रियल लगते हैं, and it is a fact. It's going through some old photographs and you really realize, oh my God, that was me. It's like who went like this. That was me. That was my parent. That. It's fascinating. और हमको ये चीजें real doubt में क्यों नहीं आती? We are seeing it change, no? And yet, the constancy of its reality is always firmly established. तावत, तब तक, ये जो सुख and दुख के अनुभव फील हो रहे हैं in the जगत, this plurality of the world, this hierarchy in the world, this taratamyam in the world. Taratamyam means difference and gradations in the world. The rich unfairly is rich. They've done nothing to be that rich, yet they seem to be rich. And the poor who is so deserving is still working so hard, is so poor. This inequality that is seen, the wars that are seen, people dying, suffering, all this is so real. This reality cannot disappear by intellectualization. Just because now we have the verse here, अब हमें ये श्लोक मालूम है, supposing, समझ में आ गया, ब्रह्मन एक ही है, अद्वितीय है और सबका अधिष्ठान है. This सबका अधिष्ठान, I'm not explaining because the next verse is going to explain. How is it the अधिष्ठान for everything? That Brahman being the Adhishtan, till we do not know, this sense of reality will remain. All my sukh and dukh and seeking, wanting to avoid unpleasantness, सारा मेरा पुरुषार्थ जहां आज हम लगा रहे हैं, averagely, average human being, I'm not talking about a few proportioned select whose interest has developed into other avenues of life. Majority people in the world Where is their life being spent? Between birth and death, the amount of experiences they go through amazes me. एक जीवन में इंसान इतना सब कुछ कर लेता है. एक दो शादियां हो जाती हैं, एक दो डिवोर्स हो जाते हैं, कुछ बच्चे हो जाते हैं, बच्चों के बड़े हो जाते हैं, बच्चों के हेल्थ की प्रॉब्लम्स आती हैं, माँ बाप के हेल्थ की प्रॉब्लम्स आती हैं, स्कूल्स की प्रॉब्लम्स आती हैं. One lifespan has so much. And in one of our satsangs long ago with our teachers, um, it was a very beautiful question, and it has stuck with my mind because it's something that I have tried living completely on that ground. Good luck, bad luck, who knows? But that is it. The question was, next Janma, you know, this is in a satsang, means this is where the group is all like-minded, oriented for Vedantic pursuit and their Sadgati. In next Janma, हम और क्या कर सकेंगे कि हम इसको गति को और बढ़ा सकते हैं? That was the question. In our next, and it was asked from a very, very established teacher. Established meaning known teacher. क्या कर सकते हैं अगले जन्म में कि हम इस गति को और बढ़ा सकते हैं? And the answer that the teacher gave pierced my heart at least. He said, इस जन्म में भगवान ने आपको बहुत टाइम दिया है. That is all the answer was. Even in this life, भगवान ने आपको बहुत टाइम दिया है. And what is our question? How can we make the next life more productive? अगले जन्म में हमें ये सब अवॉइड हो जाए. अगले जन्म में मैं थोड़ा वाइज पैदा हो जाऊं. अगले जन्म में I at least be born in the company of the seekers is what Krishna has said. At least he's promising that if I keep pursuing this knowledge, you will start from there. Answer of a true teacher. Real, I would say. This is a real answer of a Vedantic teacher. This marks a Vedantic teacher. कौन है जो वेदांत का टीचर हो सकता है? वो आपको ये याद कराएगा, अगले जन्म की बात कर रहे हो, इस जन्म में जो तुम्हें वक्त मिला है ये कम है क्या? There is a lot of time here. To determine what? What is it that we have to know? He says, this jagat that is looking real, this will continue to look real in all janmas. ये तो जाएगा नहीं कभी भी. This experience that you have today of the world being real. The sunrise is real. Last class, I think we explained it fairly well. Sorry, excuse me. The sunrise is real. The sunset is real. It rained just now. It is so beautiful. All this is so real. मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगता है. मुझे पकौड़े खाने की इच्छा होती है इस टाइम. चाय के साथ गरम गरम अदरक वाली चाय. This is also real. ऐसे में, what is the manan? ऐसे में जो सब बहुत रियल लग रहा है, ये तो अच्छा अनुभव है ना? It's a fact, sensory experience. But this sensory experience of mine, what is it coming to? How is my day centered in knowing? How is my time utilized in figuring out? This will continue to be real. How long? As long as the Adhishtan, Brahman, that alone is real. That reality जो हम जगत की कह रहे हैं, this jagat is entirely dependent upon Brahman. It's Brahman's existence that lends existence to the world. And to convey that, first it is Brahman from where the creation is seen. Where the creation is seen, it is Brahman, and that is caused as Brahmaji. It is Brahman, which is sustaining the world, and as a sustainer, he is called Vishnu. It is Brahman in which the world will take resolution, and as a resolver, he is called Shiva, etc., etc., etc. Ek part of the Jagat is clarified in that manner. He says here, tab tak ye real lagega. And this already is an example. Drid banane ke liye. He gives further example. Just as Shuktika Rajatam Yatha. Just as the silver in the mother of pearl. When there is on a seashore, on a beach, at a particular direction of a light, there are factors, okay? Without factors, this example won't fit. When the light is in a particular direction falling on the seashell, mother of pearl, and that mother of pearl has a particular shape. But what do you see over there suddenly? You see silver there. प्रातिभासिक क्या हो रहा है? अनुभव में क्या आया? Oh, silver. The example says, you will continue to see silver till the condition remains. When will you stop seeing it as silver? When you get the Vishesha Gyan that shell is trikon, it has a particular shape and it is of that material. When you are able to recognize the shell as a shell, automatically what happens to the silver scene? What happened to the silver scene? It's got negated. It's gone. आपके अनुभव से निकल गया वो. It is not in your experience anymore. The silver vision has got corrected. दृष्टि जो आपकी थी, जो आपको सेंसरी अनुभव हो रहा था, ओ चांदी चांदी चांदी, ओ वहां सीप में चांदी चांदी, नॉट सिल्वर, ओ चांदी. That चांदी का vision has got corrected जब सीप का ज्ञान हुआ. On knowledge. विशेष ज्ञान, not a generalized knowledge. When there is a specific knowledge that this is a shell, then the appearance superimposed on it has automatically got corrected. You no longer will have a yearning, greediness for it. And if there was another example like the rope and the snake, you will no longer have fear for it. The emotional world that you experience as real, automatically the reality from that has corrected itself. So he says, जब तक ये विशेष ज्ञान नहीं आता कि सबका अधिष्ठान ब्रह्मन है. And is that something that is possible in a day or two, or having concluded one text or another text? जब तक ये विशेष ज्ञान नहीं आता. What is a विशेष ज्ञान? सर्वाधिष्ठानम Brahman. Brahman is the sarvadhishthana. Till you don't get this specific knowledge, and that Brahman is Advitiyam. Till then, this Jagat will continue to look real. You cannot escape the samsaric anubhavam. You cannot bypass it. Therefore, what is the relevance? Now I'm generalizing for the sake of continuity for those who are still young and need to program their life. Therefore, Jagrat Avastha is very essential for me. On one hand is the vichar going on. Vichar only corrects my wrong conclusions of life. But on the other hand, where I am placed in reality, I have to go on guiding that reality relative sense of reality towards integration with my knowledge. Is the sentence clear? Yeah. Okay. So now in the next verse, the 8th verse, he says, Upadane khiladhare jaganti parameshware sargasthitilayan yanti budbudani vavarini upadane khiladhare jaganti parameshware sargasthitilayan yanti Budbudani Vavarini. Now, what is that Brahman? He's explaining here. That Brahman is the Upadana Karan. Upadana Karan means material cause. Material cause means the entire world is made up only of Brahman. ये पूरी जगत सृष्टि किससे बनी है? ब्रह्मन से बनी है. Like for example, you have a wooden table. ये पूरा टेबल किससे बना है? वुड से बना है. You have a copper vessel. पूरा वेसल किससे बना है? कॉपर से बना. The vessel has a form and a name. It has a function, it has a utility. No part of that vessel is not copper. And yet it is seen as a vessel, as a glass, copper glass. What is a fabric made of? Cotton fabric. Entirely cotton. There is nothing that is not cotton. If it has a structure, if it has a form, if you see in the world a causation, a sense of reality felt, if you see forms limited, जो सब एक दूसरे से भिन्न भिन्न है, सब अलग अलग है, सबका आकार है, all of it is like, all of it is material causes, Brahman. He gives two examples, one in this 8th verse, one is in the 9th verse. I'm bringing the 9th verse example because it fits here. Just as all ornaments made of gold has what? Ingrained, integrated, pervasive. What is it pervaded by? Gold. But you will not use a nose ring for a bangle. Can you? I have a nose ring. I will use it as a bangle. You can't. But the nose ring is gold and bangle is gold. But आकार अलग है. But material क्या है? एकमेव. Advitiyam. In the same way, this is the teaching. What is it saying? This plurality of this Jagat with all these names and forms, and when we go into the details of the world, these are made up of gunas. These are from scientific level, you will have a different composition of the world. All branches of schools will give us a different division of the world. All of it has only one material cause. And that is that Upadana Karan is Brahman. Akhila Adhare. Very beautiful word. That Sarva Adhishtan, he says, it is an Adhar which is Akhila. Akhila. Na khila. Khila means what? Separated. Alag alag. Having no gap is Akhila. What will be the direct meaning of it? Something which has no gap. Like example, if you have to say gold ornament, उसका अखिल उपादान कारण आधार क्या है? Gold है. Which implies that every part of that ornament is pervaded by gold. कण कण में है, तन तन में है, मन मन में है, वन वन में है, क्षण क्षण में है. क्या है? अखिल आधार ब्रह्मन. Akhila means which has no break, means you cannot say it is here and it is not there. The entire creation is made up of that one who is Akhila. Why does he say entire? Jaganti. All that is born, this world entirely, Chara Chara Srishti. The Samashti, Vyashti means individual, microcosmic, macrocosmic. Chara Chara means moving, immoving, immobile, immovable. The entire world of movables and the immovables. What we call as Jada and Sthavara Jangamam. Right from inert material, so-called from science, Vedanta doesn't call, Vedas don't see anything as inert at all. But from science, the stones, the minerals, from this to Brahma Paryantam, to Brahmaji. This entire Jagat has what adhishtan? Brahman. Exactly like saying, entire dream, who's adhishtan? We won't go up to Brahman at this point, though that is the truth. But entire dream, who's adhishtan?
We,
Maya.
we,
Me. Me. I am the adhishtan. It is in me that the entire world is coming. Sarva adhishtan. Upadan. I am the material of the dream. वहां पे कोई अलग से नदी तो नहीं आई. Last class I said, it fascinates me, where did the river disappear? In my dream, there is not a material which is outside of me that I'm seeing. The entire dream world has been created by what? Me. In one of the Upanishads, the example is in the Mundaka Upanishad he gives. Like a spider throws a web. Like a spider makes a web. What does the material of the web come from? The spider. वही उसको बनाता है and he holds it up to from his own self. उसी ने उसको निर्धारित किया है and then at a certain point it withdraws the web back into its own self. अपने अंदर खींच लेता है. The entire material of the web came from within. In the same way, the entire material of this world is what? Parameshwar. It is in Parameshwar, who is the Upadana Akhila Adhara. And क्या होता है? This entire Jaganti, पूरा सृष्टि इसी में सर्ग क्रिएशन है, इसी में स्थिति है, इसी में लय yanti goes into same Parameshwara, same Adhar. Just as in me the dream emerged, I was the creator of the dream, I sustained the dream, and in me the dream resolved. पूरा जगत इस ब्रह्मन में, ब्रह्मन से आया है, ब्रह्मन से स्थित है और ब्रह्मन में ही लीन हो जाता है. And now another example, just to quickly cover the point. Budbudani iva varini. Budbudani iva varini. What is Budbudani? Budbudani means like bubbles on water. Bubbles of water are formed from the water are sustained by water. And जब बबल फटता है तो कहाँ जाता है? Back to the water. Like a wave in water, by water, goes back into water. Budbudani eva. This is a worthy reflection. What is it? This creation, now you see all these verses together. The topic is nature of the world. First point, samsara is swapnatulya. Ragadveshadi sankulaha. It will look real till knowledge is gained. What knowledge? यावत ज्ञायते. जब तक ये नहीं जानोगे कि ब्रह्मन इज सर्वाधिष्ठानम अद्वयम, तब तक ये जगत सत्य लगेगा. एग्जाम्पल, शुक्तिका रजतम. What is that Brahman? That Brahman is Upadana Akhila Adhar of this entire world. यही ब्रह्मन जिससे सर्ग स्थितियां लय होता है, इसी में सब जाता है. That knowledge till you don't, that prabodhe over here in this verse when he said prabodhe, what is to be known? This is to be known. Till then, samsara satyavat bhati means I have no resolution from here. Only on Jnanam does this samsara dissolve away. Just as on Jnanam of Jagrat Avastha, Swapna dissolved. The minute I've woken up, I know I've woken up. I don't need anybody else to tell me. I've said this example many times. The minute I wake up, I know I've woken up. My dream world, automatically I have dismissed it as unreal. However much meaning I try to find in the dream world, a lot of people ask us questions. Do dreams have reality? Does this dream have symbolism? Do dreams have signs? They could have. They may have. If you have a system of knowledge which is able to discern it, I would also love to follow it. But is there any system of knowledge like that? There's not. It's all hypothesis. सब अपने मनोकल्पित कुछ ना कुछ कॉजेशन बना लेते हैं. कुछ कुछ राइट होता है, कुछ कुछ राइट नहीं होता है. Here Vedanta is giving us a definite knowledge. What is it? Why are you trying to inquire the details and signs and symptoms of a dream world when you should be inquiring about the adhishtan of the dream and the waking? क्योंकि दोनों का अधिष्ठान कौन है? In the Chandogya Upanishad, to Shvetaketu, his father finally tells him, he says, जहां आपका स्वप्न और आपका जागृत दोनों, जहां आप सोते हो, जिस स्थान में निद्रा का जो आपका अनुभव आता है, वही ब्रह्मन है, वही अधिष्ठान है. उसी से आपका स्वप्न और उसी में आपका जागृत अनुभव हुआ है, और उसी में for whatever reason we have a certain time and then it goes back into that. And then Shvetaketu is intelligent, so he asks, then how is it that I don't know that that was Brahman? हम अगर रोज उसी में जाते हैं तो हमें याद क्यों नहीं रहता है, हमें पता क्यों नहीं कि वो ब्रह्मन थे, हमारा ही तो अनुभव था. So how have I forgotten? How do I don't register? How do I not remember? That is a different topic. Goes into details. Here in this text, that is all it's concluding. Is that clear? Relatively? जिसको नहीं क्लियर हो ऐसा कर सकते हैं. We'll repeat it.
दीप्ति जी, ब्रह्मन का तो हमें एक्सपीरियंस होता है ना, द फैक्ट दैट वी वेक अप एंड वी नो दैट वी वोकन अप फ्रॉम स्लीप, तो वो भी
Yes.
तो एक ब्रह्मन का ही एहसास हुआ कि
Absolutely.
हमें लगा कि हम सोए और हम वापस उठ गए, राइट?
बिल्कुल. But that ब्रह्मन का ज्ञान has to be specific. See, अभी हमारा ये अनुमान हो रहा है on श्रवणम, right? That ये ज्ञान वहीं से आ रहा, ब्रह्मन ही है. अभी हमने सुन लिया सब कुछ, तो हमें पता है, हमारे अनुभव में हम देख रहे हैं, मगर ये हमारा विशेष ज्ञान अभी नहीं है. I am not able to see Brahman as Advitiyam. That is now the Vedantic sadhana. So Shravan has made it clear. अब मेरी बुद्धि निष्ठ है. Now I can't be deluded to believe that the world is going to last and this is going to be permanent and I'll find some happiness here, or I don't know, whatever is mine will come, whatever is not mine will never come. बात ही खत्म. वह झगड़ा किस बात का? Why are we mathopitoing so much in creation? जो मेरा है, मैंने कमाया होगा तो आएगा. अगर कमाने की इच्छा है तो कमाना अब शुरू कर दो, तो आगे आ जाएगा. It's a very clear process. There is no confusion in creation. So that this Brahman is my Swarupam. मेरी आइडेंटिटी का स्वभाव, मेरे मैं का होना is Brahman. And when I've woken up, the Shastras told me, but I don't have that knowledge. That Brahman is in all my avastha and in waking also. अभी भी मैं क्या हूं? I can recall it to say that is Brahman. But in my waking, am I saying it is the Brahman which is the adhishthan of my Jagrat?
तो वो बोलते तो है लेकिन वो बैठा नहीं है.
बस वो जब तक जब वो साधना इज ओनली बिठाने की. समझ में तो आ गया आप हमें. But that समझना means now it has to go into Mananam and Nididhyasana. And the day वो बैठ जाएगा ना, that is firm, because Brahman is एकमेव अद्वितीयम कूटस्थ केवलम. वो अब ज्ञान टेम्पररी नहीं है. सो वॉट एवर टाइम इट टेक्स बिठाने का, रेस्ट ऑफ द जर्नी इज ओनली बिठाना, अपने आप को उस ज्ञान में बिठाना. दैट इज द रेस्ट ऑफ द जर्नी. We'll end the class here. ॐ सर्वेषां स्वस्तिर्भवतु, सर्वेषां शान्तिर्भवतु, सर्वेषां पूर्णं भवतु, सर्वेषां मङ्गलं भवतु, सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्. ॐ असतो मा सद्गमय, तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय, मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय. ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. ॐ स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्तां न्यायेन मार्गेण महीं महिषाः. गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं. लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु. काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः, पृथ्वी सस्यशालिनी. देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितः, ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः. ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. हरिः ओम्. हरिः ओम्. Thank you everyone. धन्यवाद. 1 minute, let me stop this.